Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Radio K Sports broadcast of this game against the Minnesota Gophers versus DePaul Blue Demons. Elias Thomas here with Matthew Zeichart. We have an exciting game today, Big East versus Big Ten matchup. Starting for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, we have Jaden Henley at guard, Will Ramberg at the other guard, Talon Cooper at the 3, 6'11" Dawson Garcia, and rounding out at center is Trayton Thompson.
Yeah, and over on the DePaul side, lots of names to look out for, starting out with Umoja Gibson, number 2. He plays at guard. And then we also have Jalen Terry, Javen Johnson, Yor Ane, and the final member of their starting squad for the Blue Demons, Errol Penn.
Errol Penn. A lot of tough names there.
Yes.
A lot of tough names. This should be a good game against two teams that haven't had the best seasons the last few years. DePaul has not. I believe they won 6 games last year and something like 2 or 3 the year before. Some programs that are rebuilding for sure.
Oh, for certain.
But as far as Minnesota goes, no Jamison Battle for the 3rd game this season for a team that's currently 2-0. Hasn't impacted them too much so far, but best player from a year ago, you would love to see him out on the court. But it's good to sit him for these non-conference games because come Big Ten time, you don't want him banged up. You want to make sure he's fully healed when he comes back.
Oh, for sure. And, I mean, Coach Johnson definitely has that in mind when he is making sure that he's not getting any playing time, these quote-unquote easy games, these non-conference games. But notable absence, a notable presence, one Braden Carrington is making his college debut for the Gophers. He's playing guard. He's not starting today, but he's a freshman from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Won the state championship, was also named Mr. Basketball for the state of Minnesota. So good things from him, and hopefully he can carry on his luck from high school into the collegiate game. Yeah,
one of Minnesota's promising recruits from a season ago. Ben Johnson came in his first season and really picked up the recruiting process and said, you know what, there's a lot of talent here in Minnesota. I'm going to go get that talent. And sure enough, that's what he did. Some other freshman names, I believe Jaden Henley, who comes out of California, actually. We also have Caden Betts from Colorado. But, Braden Carrington is an exciting player. I'm excited to see him play today.
Yeah, you mentioned the local side of things. Minnesota has 9 Minnesotan players on their team. For reference, the DePaul Blue Demons of Illinois, 3 Illinois natives. Only 3, so definitely looking for that local presence on this Gopher squad.
Yeah, and I think that's important. You see a lot of players want to go, or good players will decide to play in, California or in the SEC or the ACC somewhere, a name like Kentucky or Duke or North Carolina where Dawson Garcia came from. But, you want to, when you have a state that is so known for basketball, the Minneapolis Lakers of the 50s and names like Kevin McHale and Michael Thompson, a #1 overall pick, like you should be getting these players to come here. This is a great state for basketball, Midwest, Big Ten. So you like what Ben Johnson's doing, getting these names and getting other players. As we are about to tip off, Dawson Garcia wins the tip, grabbed by Trayton Thompson. And now Henley will bring it up. Dawson Garcia at the top of the key. Tries to get into Talon Cooper, and it's going to go out of bounds as Talon Cooper fell over there.
Yeah, very bad pass there. They got to make sure that their passing game is on point. Obviously, they've struggled with free throws too, but that will be an issue later down the road.
Yeah. Number 3 here with the ball. That is Terry, who turns it over. Henley bringing it up. Dribbling against Terry. Over to Cooper. 2 rub screens from the bigs. Cooper on the right side. kicks it to Thompson up top, inside to Dawson Garcia. Dawson Garcia looking, kicks it out to Cooper. Cooper for three, and he hits it. First shot of the night is going to be a three-pointer by Taylon Cooper. Nice shot there from the junior transfer.
Super important to get on the board first.
DePaul with the ball. Big man up top with it, dribbling, looking, gives it to number 1. That is Johnson. Johnson takes it fade away on the baseline, and Thompson gets the rebound, gets it knocked out, but it goes out of bounds. It'll remain Minnesota ball.
Yeah, this DePaul squad, a very talented DePaul squad. They are coming off 2 victories, one against Loyola, Maryland, the other against Western Illinois. Typically, they start out against the Illinois team, but obviously this time of year, difference.
Dawson Garcia up top for 3, and he's going to miss that. Garcia's first shot of the day, the leading scorer for the Gophers so far. Now with the ball is Johnson, kicks it over to Terry, into the corner, missed three-pointer, and it's going to go out of bounds. That was Penn who took that, Arrow Penn. And it's going to remain DePaul ball, apparently. Maybe that was tipped there. Couldn't quite tell there.
Yeah, for the folks at home, DePaul is repping black and blue jerseys, the Gophers in their golds.
Inbound into Terry. Terry dribbling, looking, tries to get inside, can't, kicks it over to Gibson. Gibson driving, kicks it back out, up top to Terry. Terry for 3, and he's going to miss that, but long rebound for Gibson. Gibson driving baseline, kicks it to the corner to Terry. Terry for 3, and he misses that one as well. But an offensive rebound and a foul by Dawson Garcia. It's a tough rebounding possession there for the Gophers.
Oh, for certain. Obviously, rebounds were not the friends of the Golden Gophers last year. This year, some promising starts, but yeah, those rebounds are the ones you got to get.
DePaul so with the ball, driving but from Johnson. Johnson gets blocked by Henley, but gets his own rebound and puts it back up. It's 3-2 Golden Gophers now. Taylon Cooper being guarded at full court. Gets it across half court. I believe that is Terry covering him. Cooper still dribbling, gets a screen from Garcia, gives it to him. Garcia drives, right side. Tough layup, tough finish, and he makes that. 5-2 Golden Gophers. Bringing it up the court is Gibson. Over to Johnson. Johnson pull up from the baseline again, and he's going to get fouled on the jumper. It's another tough shot from the DePaul Blue Demons. He's going to shoot 2 here.
Yeah, in that case, obviously not a great shot, but obviously the Gophers would rather have him earn his points than get him in one foul swoop.
Exactly. A lot of tough names to pronounce here for the DePaul Blue Demons. Umoja Gibson already handled the ball a lot. He's averaging 18 points a game as Javen Johnson hits his first free throw.
Yeah, you are right on target by saying that Umoja is definitely one of the stars of this DePaul squad. Obviously, not the kings of the Big East by any means, but they're looking to make a name for themselves with their coach in his second year with the team.
Second free throw. No good, and Garcia comes away with the rebound. Garcia is the leading rebounder for the Gophers, averaging 7.5 a game. And he's really kind of the main rebounder. Not a lot of guys getting too many boards aside from him, as Taylon Cooper has the ball, dribbling, pull up from the top of the key, off the back of the rim. Not a very pretty shot there, as Gibson will take it up the court, directing traffic, drives middle, tough layup, and he misses with the contact. Oh, and Will Ramberg tries to get the rebound, but it goes out on him. It'll remain DePaul ball. Possession is hugely different right now as Trayton Thompson gets subbed out for number 21, Farrell Payne, another freshman here who comes out of Minnesota. Inbound by DePaul. DePaul turns it over. Taylon Cooper with the steal as he brings it back the other way. Gets a screen from Garcia at the top of the key. Tries to get inside, nowhere to go. Kicks it to Garcia, who passes over to Jaden Henley. Jaden sizing up the defender. Jaden Henley dribbles to the left side. Left elbow jumper misses as DePaul goes the other way on the fast break, and they cannot succeed there as Umoja Gibson passed it off the hand of their center, Errol Penn.
Yeah, at the moment, Gophers are up 2, but they got to do better job with shot selection. They have so much time on that shot clock, but they're just going for the quick points. And when you're playing a tough team like DePaul, you got to make sure that the points you shoot are points that are made, not just points that are up in the air.
Exactly. Number 21 checks in for Errol Payne. Oh, excuse me, for number 10. Talon Cooper dribbling, looking over to Dawson Garcia, back to Cooper. Cooper dribble drives down the middle, layup, and no good. He misses a wide open layup there. Did a good job creating separation, but couldn't get it as Johnson brings it back up the court for DePaul. Takes a jumper from the free throw line, no good. Out to Umoja Johnson off the offensive rebound, and he's going to hit the 3. Yet another offensive rebound for DePaul, killing the Gophers right now as it's 6'5" Blue Demons.
Yeah, and the first 3 of the night for the Blue Demons, if I'm not mistaken, and quite the stylish 3 at that.
And that is Deshaun Nelson that checked in for Yor Ane. Now Gophers with the ball. Talon Cooper, right side, inside to Dawson Garcia, who gets fouled from behind on the entry pass. And there's going to be a timeout on the court.
Yeah, we're about a quarter of the way through the first half of this Gopher DePaul basketball action. First things first, obviously, going into this game, Gophers 1.5-point underdogs, so we knew this one was going to be a close one. Elias, what are you liking at the moment?
Right now, I'm liking the ball movement, or the dribble drives that the Minnesota Gophers are getting right now are really nice. They're, taking it to the left side, right side, getting the screen, coming off the screen really well. There's so much space in the lane. They're just missing their layups, or they're trying to kick it out for the 3. They're taking bad shots, pulling up. They need to get it to the rack, finish. These are easy buckets that they're missing right now. So shot selection is huge, but they have the open space. They just need to execute on that.
For me, it's fouls. I mean, at the moment, Gophers are sitting at 3 fouls. DePaul with 1. Obviously, we hope this is not a sign of things to come, because if that is the case, Gophers could be sending DePaul to the line multiple times, and by the looks of it, DePaul, not a terrible free throw shooting team.
Yeah, shooting 80%, I believe. Far better than the Gophers, who currently are shooting, I believe, 52% on the season, which is, that is if you shoot 20 shots, you get 10 points, you lose by 10 points. There's the reason you're getting these literal free throws, and you can't be missing that many. I think this is something I saw last year as well. A lot of missed free throws. You get these close games. There was a game they lost by, I believe, 6 to Wisconsin. They lost close to Michigan State one time. You're not going to be winning games if you can't hit the easiest shot in the entire game.
And you're going to lose games that you should win. I mean, look at Game 1 of the season this year against Western Michigan. They won the game by 1 point, but that was a game they could have very easily lost had they have fouled the Western Michigan Bronco that ended up shooting the 3 to try to tie it with a foul. Obviously, no foul, so Gophers pulled away with a victory in regulation. This has the way it works in makings of a overtime basketball game. Our voices won't thank us, but I think any basketball fan would agree that overtime basketball is my and everybody's kind of basketball.
Yeah. And, in that Western Michigan game, it's a school that's known, but it's not a school that you should be losing to as a Big Ten team. And to have it that close, I think everyone was a little disappointing. Nobody has high hopes for this Minnesota team who's been ranked 12th, 13th in the Big Ten coming into these preseason polls and preseason rankings. But nobody expects them to lose to a team like Western Michigan. So to have it that close is just unacceptable. But their last game on Friday, they looked much better, easily took that one. As the Gophers get it into Payne, Farrell Payne, the freshman, for the layup. Excuse me there, looking for the name. It's 7-6 Gophers right now, and they're doubling up top on defense into the corner to Nelson, who misses the three. Braden Carrington checks in the game and has the ball, gets the rebound there, kicks it over to Talon Cooper. Cooper inside to Ramberg. Ramberg dribbling, one dribble inside to Payne again, who slams it down with two hands. Great ball movement by Minnesota there.
And in college basketball, the way to gain momentum, threes and dunks. And dunks, they really pumped up the student section, but also the crowd at large.
Yeah, filling in here slowly on this Monday night. Umoja Gibson is going to get fouled by Farrell Payne, who already has 4 points in just about 1 minute or 2 minutes on the court.
Yeah, they're marking off the skid marks on the ground of the shoes. Obviously, the unspoken about heroes, the court cleaners.
Philman Geberwitt checks in for Jalen Terry for DePaul as Umoja Gibson dribbles, kicks it to the corner, over to Geberwitt, who hits the three, immediately coming in and making an impact. It's a tie ball game here, 9-9 with 14 minutes just about to go in the first half. Talon Cooper dribbling against Geberwitt.
Yeah, of DePaul's 9 points, 5 of those have been second chance.
It's going to be a foul there.
Yeah, it
Not
appeared
quite
the
see who that
DePaul
was
player
on.
tried to make a block, but there was no shot attempt, so he just ended up falling over on number 55, Talon Cooper.
Talon Cooper will inbound the ball. Looking, getting close to that 5 second mark, gets it in to Farrell Payne, who gets a jump ball against big man Ane.
Yeah, in this case, possession goes to DePaul.
Nelson will inbound to Umoja Gibson. Gibson bringing it up the court. Will Ramberg on him. Back to Gibson. Ball gets back to Gibson, who takes a three and misses. Talon Cooper now with the rebound. Cooper bringing it up the court. Gets a screen from Payne. Cooper dribbling, sizing up his defender here. Nelson on him. Cooper kicks to Carrington. Over the corner to Ramberg. Ramberg spins, dribbles, back out to Carrington in the three-point line. Gets a screen, pull up three, no good. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a off-ball foul here on against Dawson Garcia. I believe that was number 10, your Ane.
Yeah, Garcia a little bit slow to get up on that one. Had to have some help from his Gopher acquaintances. He's back up. Does not look to be injured, which is always a good thing.
Cooper once again inbounding. Gets it into Payne. Payne sizing up Ane. And good pass to Will Ramberg in the middle, who cut, and he lays it up for two. Tough finish, as he ended up on the ground after that. Got back up, hustled back on D. Now Geberwitt in the corner for three again. That's his second shot. Same spot. 2 3-pointers in that left corner for DePaul. Scores 12-11. DePaul with the lead over Minnesota. 13 minutes to go here. Talon Cooper dribbling, looking, screen from Garcia. Doesn't use it. Garcia now driving against Geberwitt. Looking, kicks it back out to Cooper. Ball gets tipped and it stays in. Oh, and nope, they called it out of bounds. It's going to be Minnesota ball. Tough little scruff for the ball there. Got tipped around a few times. Tough finish from Will Ramberg and great pass from Payne there.
And DePaul really was good at changing the momentum, able to score that three-pointer, obviously, and really change the narrative.
Three-point attempt by Dawson Garcia is no good, but he gets fouled on it.
Yeah, no flop warning in sight on that one. That was very much a real foul. There was a flop warning warranted the season opener against Western Michigan, but Garcia will be at the line. Shoot 3.
Makes the first.
Yeah, Dawson Garcia, 6'11", so a very tall forward. We mentioned it a little before. And
He nails the second.
yeah, nails the second. Maybe for good measure, maybe gets a third, but he's weighing in at 230 pounds, so he's got a lot of muscle to him for certain.
That is a big guy with guard skills, might I add. As he hits the third, it's going to be 13-12. Minnesota with the lead as Ola Joseph will check in for Garcia, who comes off the court with 5 points after he hit those 3 free throws.
Garcia receiving quite the applause from the Gopher faithful.
Now DePaul with the ball. Gibson driving middle, gives it to Ane, who gets fouled hard. And let's see if they call that on Cooper. Cooper did not like that call.
Yeah, quite distraught, Cooper. Obviously, he was thinking that block was all ball. We'll have to look at the replay. And I see where the ref was coming from. That's definitely a call that could go either way, but
Ane hits his first free throw.
yeah, like we said, DePaul, great free throw shooting team. And
Zion Cruz checks in for the DePaul Blue Demons as he comes in for Javen Johnson. On the court for DePaul, we have 0 Cruz, Gibson, Gebrewit, Ane, and Penn. So you got 3 starters out there and a 3-man who's already hit 2 threes in the corner here.
And Ane was able to make both of those shots.
Talk about tall, big guys. Ane is coming at 6'10", and those are some long arms. As a timeout is called.
Yeah, he hails from Overland Park, Kansas. He's a graduate student. And we talked about a lot of big men on the court today. Ane, no exception, 228 pounds. So almost at, he might even be at heavyweight if he was a boxer. I'm not entirely certain the weight classes in modern boxing.
I want to talk about that I guess they're coming right out of this timeout pretty quick here.
Yeah.
But that finish by Will Ramberg off the great pass from Farrell Payne, who saw the cutting Ramberg, was able to dish it off to him for a tough finish. That's the movement you like to see from Minnesota.
Yeah, high basketball IQ, and I mean that's probably instilled from a guy who has quite the high basketball IQ in Ben Johnson.
DePaul comes out of the timeout pressing here, and it was deflected out of bounds off DePaul, so Minnesota will keep possession. I believe they called a kick ball, actually. It looked like the ref just motioned at that. Taylon Cooper gets it up to Henley. Henley kicks it back to Cooper right at half court. Dribbling, setting up the offense. Hand off to Henley. Henley looking, dribbles. Crossover into Payne. Payne with another dunk. Got the separation on a great entry pass from Jaden Henley.
Yeah, not every night you see a dunk in college basketball game. Tonight we have been treated to quite the dunk fest with 2 on the night, and we're not even halfway done with this first.
Now Umoja Gibson kicks it to Gebrewit. Gebrewit looking. Gebrewit dribbling now, driving with the left hand, and wow, a tough finish. It went right under the arm of the defender there. I don't even know how he got that off.
Yeah, with that shot, Gebrewit, 8 points, team leader for DePaul at the moment.
Half the team's points is at 16-16 with 11:30 left in the first half. Ola Joseph gives it to Carrington, who then screens for him. Carrington pull up 2, no good. He was looking for the roll there for Ola Joseph, but was not there. Umoja Gibson dribbling now, gets a screen, kicks it out to Ane. And a travel called on Ane. Big man trying to dribble there. That's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's been talked about to death, but we might as well talk about it. College basketball, it's a lot harder to get away with a travel than it is professionally.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you see it as low as high school basketball. I played high school basketball. They call a travel on just about everything. You watch the NBA, you think, well, it's not a travel there. You know, they're not going to call a travel when you take a couple extra steps to do a nice fancy move. Of course, it's an entertainment industry there. But, you know, here in college, they're really looking at the fundamentals, trying to keep it true to the game of basketball, which, you know, I think it's changed a little bit in recent years, getting a little more lenient on some of those things. But the refs really trying to, show what they're going to call and stay consistent.
Yeah, and I mean, the fancy travel is so popular in the modern National Basketball Association that they call it the Euro step.
Yeah.
So quite the change in just called fouls and such, NBA side of things, and obviously we're seeing a little bit of that on the college ball side of things. Fouls aside, you also are seeing a lot more three-pointers from college basketball than you ever were years prior to, I would say, the Splash Brothers. They really were the impetus for a lot of these teams, including the Gophers and DePaul, for putting up three-pointers.
Yeah, and, you know, everybody talks about Steph Curry once he got to the NBA, how much of an impact he made. But you can't forget Davidson's Cinderella run in, 2008?
Yes.
Steph Curry led those guys, and a lot of that was his three ball and his magic that he had. Definitely a turning point in basketball history. And you don't even notice how, in the moment, it would have been so absurd to even think that, this kid from Akron, Ohio, I believe,
yeah.
he was born also there. But this kid from Davidson is going to, change the NBA and change basketball as it is. But in this game, I've noticed, speaking of threes, I haven't seen as many threes from Minnesota as you would expect. They're taking a lot of mid-range pull-ups, but they're just not hitting their shots. But that's something you don't see a lot, is that mid-range game anymore. Yeah.
I could even see that changing start of the second half, or even start of the second half of the first half, if you smell what I'm stepping in, I guess you could say. Because obviously they want to point on the board right away, build a lead. That lead's not coming to them. But a really easy way to build a lead in this day and age is to hit threes and hit them consistently. And, I mean, we've seen it before. Once this Gopher team gets on a roll and they keep hitting threes, they will not stop. So, obviously, Coach Johnson, a little bit trepidatious, I'm certain, about giving his team the green light with the three ball. But, I mean, DePaul's going to be shooting threes just as much as the Gophers will as this game progresses.
Yeah, and the Gophers aren't a terrible three-point shooting team. They're shooting right under that 40% mark, which as a team, as a whole, is not bad, especially in college. Look to see maybe a few more threes here. As, DePaul has Geberwitt, who already hit 2 in the corner in less than 5 minutes of play. So we'll see here as Dawson Garcia has the ball up top for Minnesota, dribbling, handoff to Braden Carrington. Carrington tries to drive, pulls it back, and it gets tipped out of bounds by Cruz. It's going to remain Minnesota ball. To note, Torres Samuels, number 0, checked in for the Golden Gophers, a captain on the team this year, transfer from Dartmouth. He's a grad student as well. Dribbling now. Looking, gets a screen from Garcia. Samuels gives it back to Garcia, who pulls up for 3 off the back of the rim. Bounces off the top of the backboard, and it's going to be hauled in by Geberwitt. Gives it to Gibson, who's barreling down the court. Pulls it back. Crossover up top. Floater, no good. Tipped by Ane. Ane looking to do something here. Stuck. Gives it to Penn, who slams it down.
Yeah.
Good find by Ane there, who looked like he was lost, going to turn the ball over. Found Penn cutting. Big man connection there for the slam. 18-16 DePaul. Gophers with the ball. Garcia driving against Ane. Looking, no good. Samuels dribbles, pull up mid-range, no good either. 2 missed shots there.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the transfer side of things. Both these teams, Gophers a little less such, but built on transfer squads, basically.
Yeah. Geberwitt pull up mid-range from the top of the key, or the elbow there. Geberwitt, another offensive rebound for DePaul as Penn pulls up for 3. Big man misses that one. Not too pretty there. Braden Carrington dribbling up now.
Carrington
looking for
has yet
something.
to score.
Corner to Ola Joseph. Ola Joseph drives, fakes, puts up the little floater there. No good. Good move by him, though. Faked the defender out of the shoes there. Gibson now with the ball for DePaul, dribbling, making something happen. And a fake by him as well. Completely fooled the defender, and he lays it up for 2.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Gibson fooled me there. I was looking at the three-point shooter standing in wait, and he didn't get the ball because Gibson felt confident in his two-pointer abilities, and obviously it shows. DePaul up 4 points with 9 minutes left to go in the first.
That was a Rondo-esque fake there. Absolutely fooled all the defenders on the court. And then able to have a nice fundamental bank shot floater. And it's 20-16 now, 9 minutes exactly left in the half.
Yeah, only a 30-second timeout for these Gophers, but I'm assuming that Coach Johnson is telling the squad something along the lines of the field goal percentage has got to get better. But thus is also the case for DePaul. I mean, 35% and 40%, 35% for DePaul team-wise, 40% for Minnesota. DePaul 7 for 20, Minnesota 6 for 15. So obviously not the greatest of nights for either team. And you're seeing that with the score. I mean, we're only entering the 20s at the moment, and Gophers haven't even reached that mark.
Right. DePaul pressing here out of the timeout. Samuels dribbling, gives it to Henley. Henley gets trapped. Back to Samuels, who breaks the press. Samuels now slowing it down, trying to get something set up here. Looks like DePaul is in a 2-3 zone here. Gophers trying to figure that out. Henley inside to Ola Joseph, who drives and gets tipped out of his hands. No shot, but Ola Joseph with a poster! But did it beat the buzzer? It did not. I do not believe. Wow, he went up against who I believe that was against on number 1, Javen Johnson, excuse me. But that was a mean dunk, but no time left on the shot clock as that was a long possession.
Yeah, a top tenner had it not been a shot clock violation.
Yeah. Geberwitt kicks it up to Terry, over to Cruz. Cruz looking, dribbles to his right, back to his left to Geberwitt, inside to Ane, Ane with an ugly fadeaway jumper that misses almost everything. Rebound by Will Ramberg. Samuels now with the ball, gets a screen from Garcia. Garcia rolls, not there. Over to Ola Joseph for 3, no good. Ramberg tries to tip it up and in and is no good as either. Into the corner to Geberwitt, his spot for 3, no good. But Ane gets the rebound, but he steps out of bounds on the baseline. And it's going to be another timeout by DePaul, I believe, took it that time.
Yeah, you got to love the determination of Ane, but as we said, that was a clearly out of bounds as we transition into immediate timeout. At the moment, Gophers, obviously, they're down 4, and not a lot of production in the realm of points on the board. We've been kind of at this same 16-20 for quite some time. Been kind of a 0 points in the last 4:26, to be honest. So that is what we are dealing with, a scoring drought. Who do you think is going to score the first bucket after this media timeout?
Well, I think, if the Gophers have the ball, if they can't score here on this first drive, I think DePaul is going to come back quick and strong, try to find a 3 in the corner for Geberwitt, or try to get it down low to one of their bigs again. They're moving the ball well. They're driving against us and just beating Minnesota right now. They're getting the open looks. Fortunately, they're not hitting every shot, but the offensive rebounds are killer right now. I think that's what Ben Johnson needs to really pound in, is that, you can't keep giving up these second chance points, because this is a whole different game without that.
Oh, for certain, for certain. I mean, in the realm of second chance points, DePaul's second chance points, only 7 on the night. Minnesota, second chance points, 2, but is better than nothing.
The difference of that is almost the difference of the score. So
exactly.
You think, you gotta tighten it up on the defensive rebounding. And last year a big issue with the Gophers was no size. You had Jamison Battle out there at 6'7", and he was the biggest guy on the court. And you'd bring in Eric Curry, who was only 6'9", and he would help, but you had absolutely no size. So it was understandable that you weren't getting a lot of rebounds, but they still played pretty tough. This season, Trayton Thompson is in his second year, a guy who's now averaging, I believe, 3 rebounds a game as a 6'11" guy. Will Ramberg stepping up, another bigger guy at 6'9", 6'8", around there. And you get some recruits like Farrell Payne, who's been playing well right now, but not a lot of rebounds by any means.
Yeah, recruiting is the name of the game, and at the moment, Minnesota is relying on their recently recruited, with a total of 6 freshmen, including redshirt freshmen, on the squad.
DePaul again pressing. Samuels tries to cut through that. Henley now trapped back to Samuels. They'll break the press here. Samuels now setting up, dribbling at the top of the key. Gives it to Farrell Payne, who looks and gets it into Henley, who tries to finish in the air and cannot. And, Gibson will come the other way. Drive, another Rondo fake, and he lays it in. Oh, beautiful floater there, beautiful fake.
Yeah, he's practically a magician out there. Now you see me, now you don't. And, I mean, points on the board pretty easily.
Now Gophers with the ball. Henley dribbling, looking, gives it to Ramberg, hands it off to Samuels, and it's going to get tipped out of bounds by Terry, and it will remain Golden Gopher basketball. What a fake by Umoja Gibson. Just absolutely sent the defender flying as he faked the man out and floated it in once again. Gophers now, Payne at the top, right by the Cambria sign on that court. Now Talon Cooper, who's checked back into the game, gives it to Dawson Garcia at the top for 3, who misses everything with that one.
Oof.
Ugly shot there.
That was an away game. They'd be chanting air ball right about now.
Yes, they would. Maybe a few overrateds as well, as the North Carolina transfer misses everything with that. Umoja Gibson bringing it up the court for DePaul, who has a 22-16 lead with 6:41 in the half. Inside to, I believe that's Penn, who does a little fadeaway jumper and hits it, 24-16. Now Talon Cooper dribbling up against Terry.
Yeah, 10-0 run for DePaul right now.
Tipped pass by Terry. Payne gets the ball though, and a few passes back and forth to lead to a Garcia miss, and the ball will go out of bounds. Remain Minnesota ball.
Yeah, Garcia, obviously the storyline, we hinted at it, transferred out of last year's national championship team, North Carolina Tar Heels. So interesting to see what he's going to do with the Gopher squad.
Henley driving, and it gets swatted away by Penn. Big block there. He was letting him know that was a good play there.
Oh, for certain. He was feeling himself, flexing his muscles, yelling at the crowd, the works.
Talon Cooper inbounding now for Minnesota, who's down 16-24. Inside to Payne. Payne backing down Ane, out to Henley, back into Payne, sizing up Ane. Little fake spin, kicks it to the corner to Ramberg. Ramberg for 3, no good. Terry comes up with a rebound for DePaul, bringing it up the court. Terry looking. Screen. Terry still with the ball. gives it to Penn, back to Terry. Terry sizing up the defender. Now Umoja Gibson trying to reset things. Shot clock down to 13-12. Now Terry pulls up from 3, no good. Really a stagnant possession there for DePaul. Did not move the ball much. Didn't get much done. As the crowd starts to cheer a little loud after that possession, Taylon Cooper driving middle, kicks it to Payne, who slams it down again.
Here comes the pain as that scoring drought is no more. Gophers 18, DePaul 24.
Yet another big finish by Payne and a great pass from Taylon Cooper to find him. Now DePaul with the ball, up to Ane, over to Gibson. Inside, great pass by Gibson to Penn, but Gibson misses, and it gets tipped out by Garcia. It'll remain DePaul ball. Great pass, great, really threaded the needle there by Gibson, but Penn was unable to finish.
Yeah.
Got it stripped, it seemed. Gibson gonna inbound here. Inside to Penn. Right back to Gibson. Gibson top the left side. Into the corner to Penn, who takes the 3 with the shot clock winding down. And Payne with a big rebound. That was a grown man rebound by the freshman, Farrell Payne.
For certain.
Screens now for Cooper. Gives it to Henley at the left side of the key. Henley goes up. Oh, tries a tough finish, but he's going to get fouled there. Good drive by Jaden Henley there.
Yeah, for the first time in forever, the Gophers are going to be at the line to shoot 2. I mean,
this is only the second trip, and the first trip off of a foul on a layup, which, you know, that says to me is that they're not getting in and not drawing the physicality enough. You know, sometimes you just got to go at the guy, and that's how you're going to draw the fouls. As Henley hits his first free throw, a few bounces, but it falls.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it before. Henley, born and raised in Ontario, but not Ontario, Canada, Ontario, California. So quite a long ways from home, but he's finding a home here with this Gopher squad.
Second free throw from Jaden Henley, and it's good. 24-20. DePaul still with the lead, but Gophers cutting that lead in half, and the crowd here at the barn is getting loud. Gibson with the ball, left side, dribbles, gives it over to Gemberwitt, and Ramberg hustles, tips it out of bounds. It's going to remain DePaul ball.
Looks like Ramberg was a little confused by that call, but regardless, DePaul ball with only 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in this first.
Tough inbound to Gibson is going to lead to a Ramberg foul.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of fouls, it's been talked about ad nauseum. Another thing we're going to talk about ad nauseum. I mean, when you're a bigger dude, it's a lot easier to pick up fouls.
Mm-hmm. And that can be costly to a big man who, you know, you get 2 fouls early and you're out the rest of the half, and that's huge for a team. As Javen Johnson lays it up easily for 2, 26-20. Taylon Cooper now bringing it up the court. Dribbles to the left side, looking, gives it to Ramberg at the top of the key. Ramberg gives it into a wide open Garcia, who then gets blocked from behind by Nelson. Gibson brings it back the other way. Dribbles, pull up at the foul line, no good. Rebound, Jaden Henley.
Yeah, quite the lot of blocks from this DePaul squad, so credit where credit is due.
Gives it to Taylon Cooper now at the top of the key, inside of Payne. Payne finds Ramberg in the corner, who drives left. Nothing there. Payne now with the ball. Tries to get it to Henley, and it's going to go out of bounds. Not the prettiest possession there by any means.
Oh, no chance is that a pretty possession, no matter how you look at that. Obviously, we only got 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go in this first, but the crowd's getting into this one. You mentioned earlier that the crowd was just starting to trickle in, and obviously your Monday night crowd will not be as large as your Saturday or Sunday night crowd, but good game so far, and the fans are enjoying it.
Yeah, definitely. And the student section is looking pretty good for, again, a Monday night game, especially against a team like this. You know, you don't see the crowd fill ever, but it's good to see students coming out. Got the diehards in their PJs, their onesies, I should say.
Yeah, they're animal onesies because it is the barn.
It is the barn. Gotta stick with the tradition.
I'm seeing cows, pigs. Might be a sheep there.
Yeah, maybe. I know they have some horses in the collection as well.
You gotta represent with the horses.
Of course.
Obviously, you can't do that today because you're not playing a horse team. Obviously, you run into a little bit of a roadblock when you're playing Mustangs, Stallions, what have you.
Fortunately, there's not too many Wolverines or Badgers in any barns anywhere.
And if there is, then you got a problem.
You do.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit in passing the maybe building up an audience as the season progresses, maybe start of Big Ten schedule. A lot of people have been saying, where is a St. Thomas, Minnesota matchup at Williams Arena? Just because, for those of you unacquainted, St. Thomas is less than 5 miles away from the barn, and St. Thomas is now a Division I school. They just had their season opener against Creighton, only lost by about 10 points, so some would say a better night than the Gophers had their opening night. That being said, I do see why you don't have St. Thomas coming into the barn, because obviously that shifts the dynamic. I mean, St. Thomas travels well, you'd assume, especially against an in-state rival. And when you're looking at a barn, you want a barn to be, you know, your home games are your home games. You don't want to sell that. I know a lot of teams have trouble, specifically like the Gophers hockey team has trouble with that. And I know there's ways to like prevent away teams, fans from acquiring tickets, but I don't think the Gophers would really implement anything like that. But yeah, regardless, close game here, so St. Thomas fans not in attendance.
Yeah. DePaul now with the ball. Driving Gibson, lays it in easily. A lot of speed from Gibson. He's driving in the lane with efficiency and getting these nice looks. Now 28-20, DePaul with the lead. Cooper gives it to Henley. Henley dribbling, sizing up his defender, tries a crossover. It's going to get tipped out by Johnson. Yeah, and I think it would be cool now that St. Thomas is D1 for basketball to see that maybe help both teams, both schools.
For sure.
But, yeah, you're right. We want the barn to be maroon and gold. We don't need any purple or white in there.
Oh, for certain.
It's going to get tipped around here, and it'll go out of bounds on DePaul once again. Shot clock down to 7. Shot clock is not reset as possession hasn't changed. So Taylor Cooper will inbound the ball as the Gophers need to get off a quick shot here.
Yeah, 1 or 2 passes at most.
Gives it to Garcia. Garcia pulls up from just in front of the three-point line in the corner and misses everything once again. Geberwitt with the rebound. Gives it to Gibson. Gibson, crossover into Penn. Penn with the layup, and it rolls around and falls. And he yells at the ball. It looked like he was thanking it or telling it to go in a little quicker next time. As Taylor Cooper now the other way. 10-point game. Gophers were getting close, but it's slipping again. Cooper dribbling inside to Henley, who gets blocked once again, and Johnson gets a rebound, but he steps out of bounds. It was a good cut by Henley, good pass from Cooper, but there happened to be 2 defenders ready to block him.
Yeah, DePaul now with a double-digit lead. Obviously very dangerous. But I think the story of the night so far is Garcia is just not having a great night. 1 for 7 free field goal percentage.
Yeah, and Nelson gets the off-ball foul on the inbound as he sort of just puts his arm out to a cutting Garcia and knocks him over. Garcia definitely did a good job selling it. 20 seconds on the shot clock as Talon Cooper will inbound. Minute 57 left in the half. But Cruz will make a last-minute substitution for Nelson, who just fouled. A little confusion here from DePaul as players are running on and off the court. But now Cooper inbounds, looking, and gives it into Payne. Payne backing down to the defender, and he completely throws it out of bounds as Dawson Garcia either didn't see the pass or wasn't able to catch that. But that sailed over the head of Garcia.
Yeah, one has to ponder whether or not Garcia is going to see a lot of playing time come this second half. Obviously, he is one of the stars of the show, but off night.
Yeah, not looking too pretty right now. Only 5 points. As Johnson drives against Carrington and knocks him over a little bit, but he misses the pull-up jumper. Cooper now with the ball. Screen from Payne, looking, driving, layup, and can't hit it. But Payne gets the offensive rebound. Payne lays it up again.
Yeah.
Payne now 10 points, and he's carrying this Gophers offense. A lot of tough basketball from Payne right now. DePaul with the ball. Cruz gives it to Johnson. The barn is cheering loud now on defense. Johnson driving, right hand, tough finish as he weasels his way around Braden Carrington and gets the long finish off the glass. 32-22. DePaul with the lead. Gophers with the ball. Ramberg dribbling up top now. Gives it to Cooper with the bounce pass. Cooper screen from Payne. Gives it into Payne, and it gets picked off by Johnson. Johnson the other way on the fast break. Gibson fakes the three, drives middle, lays it up, tips in from Penn on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, excellent teamwork there from the Blue Demons. And like you said, right now, not a lot of teamwork, a lot of just pain
Yeah.
for the Gophers side of things. Payne has not missed a shot on the night, 5 for 5.
Talon Cooper now dribbling, looking for the screen from Payne, but the defender steps back, gets the screen a little lower down. Cooper driving middle, turns, looking for a shot, gives it to Ramberg in the corner for three, no good. Battle for the rebound, and the half will end 34-22. The Blue Demons lead. Minnesota not looking too good right now. Leading scorers right now, Payne leading the, excuse me, Payne leading the Gophers with 10 points. Talon Cooper with 3 assists. A few guys have 5 rebounds here. And for DePaul, Umoja Gibson with 9 points, Yorane with 5 rebounds, and Gibson again with 4 assists.
Yeah, and I mean, what a night so far for Farrell Payne. And I mean, we noted it to the beginning of the broadcast. Payne not in the starting lineup, so maybe he is fighting for maybe a spot, maybe a starting position in these next couple of games as we have the Central Michigan Chippewas coming up.
Yeah, and Trayton Thompson started at that spot, but did not play more than the first 2 minutes, and that's been a pattern. He's only averaged about, I believe, like 8 or so minutes a game. I'm not quite sure if he is dealing with an injury or what, but definitely being saved for something. But, you know, in my personal opinion, what I saw from Trayton Thompson last year was nothing special. What I saw when he was on the court so far, for the few minutes he was on, was also nothing special. He doesn't play aggressive. He sits out by the three-point line on offense. You know, and he's a good shooter at times, but with a guy, when you have a team that struggle with size so much, to have a guy that is only going to shoot threes and not going to go in and get rebounds, and when he is inside, he's going to get pushed around by bigger guys and stronger guys on the other team, you know, that's not helpful. So when you have a guy like Farrell Payne come in and just absolutely play bully ball against these huge guys for DePaul, you know, Penn is a tall player. Uriane is also very tall. And these aren't weak guys, but Payne is battling down low, getting tough rebounds, finishing strong, and throwing dunks down. And, you know, the question should be asked to Ben Johnson is Farrell Payne going to start seeing more and more minutes here as a freshman who's looking awfully promising?
Well, the barn animals have started to crawl the floor, and I think that's as good a sign as any that we should head into break.
Yes, we should. We'll be right back on Radio K Sports. Elias Thomas with Matthew Zeikert. We'll see you in the second half. Welcome back to the Barn Williams Arena for this Minnesota Gophers game versus the DePaul Blue Demons. The Blue Demons lead Minnesota 34-22 as we enter the second half. Big game right now from Farrell Payne, who has 10 points. And on the other side, Umoja Gibson is commanding his team right now as the point guard and dishing out passes and laying in beautiful fakes and shots. Gophers looking right now to, turn this around, down 12 to a team that, they're in the Big East, but maybe not the best team in the world. Somebody in these non-conference games that you're supposed to beat.
Oh, for sure.
Let's see if they can turn it around here. See what adjustments Coach Ben Johnson makes. As Ramberg now has the ball coming towards us, away from the student section is Minnesota.
Yeah, and I mean, regardless of what happens, one of these teams is going to leave with a loss, and that is quite shocking given that both these teams are undefeated. So,
yeah,
battle of undefeateds, technically.
And
only 2 games in.
Last year we had the 8-0 start or 9-0 start that gave everyone hope, and then sure enough, the hope was not worthy as it turned into quite a disappointing season. Trayton Thompson missed a 3-pointer there as he starts the second half once again, playing only about 3 or 4 minutes in the first half. But we get a steal here. Taylon Cooper gives it to Trayton Thompson, who goes up for the dunk and gets fouled, gets that stripped out of his hands.
Very interesting start of the ball game. Not really anyone coming out on top right away, but I mean, you mentioned it. Ben Johnson has definitely had some choice words with his players, and hopefully they take them to heart.
Trayton Thompson, first free throw here, and he misses it. I had some words about Trayton Thompson. He's only played 4 minutes, so can't be too harsh on him. But still, already missed a 3-pointer and a free throw here. Hopefully, he can hit a second, and he does not. Yet again, Minnesota with some free throw troubles. As Gibson has the ball, kicks it over to Terry. Terry looking. And there's going to be an off-ball foul on Garcia, I believe.
It looks like you are correct.
And, especially with somebody like Garcia, a big guy, having those off-ball fouls, which I believe that's his second off-ball foul.
Yes, it is.
Those can be killer for a player, especially when it gets to crunch time and you got fouling out issues, as Johnson pulls up for 3. Beautiful shot there. Hand in the face, and he hits almost a fadeaway 3 there.
Yeah, the Gophers have to put points on the board if they don't want to be down 20.
Yeah. Taylon Cooper backing down his defender, gets a screen at the top of the key, gives it over to Trayton Thompson, left side, back to Cooper. Cooper dribbles again, screen from Thompson. Thompson rolls, nothing there. Cooper dribble drive, pull up 2, no good. But an offensive rebound by Trayton Thompson, who gets it knocked out of his hands. It's going to remain Minnesota ball. That's they've been doing the give the ball to Cooper, get a screen on the right side, get a screen on the left side, roll. Maybe the roll's there. The roll has been there, but when it's not, it's a forced drive and a forced pull-up or something like that along those lines, and it's just not pretty, as they almost mess up the inbounds there. Trayton Thompson gets the ball. Henley now with the ball right side on that Cambria sign. Henley drives, pump fakes, goes up, no good. And it's going to be a jump ball. Good hustle there by Trayton Thompson to try to rip that ball away.
Yeah, obviously unsuccessful in the attempt, but a jump ball is a jump ball, and it's better than just having him rush down the court.
And Trayton Thompson already exiting the game. Won't be surprised if we don't see him again tonight. I got to find out what's going on there, but has not gotten a lot of minutes, but looks to be like he will in the coming season. Terry now with the ball, left side, gives it into Johnson. Johnson drives, tries to lay it in, cannot get the roll, but he gets his own rebound. kicks it over to Terry. Terry dribbling. Pump fake. Gets it stripped by, Cooper there. Good steal by Cooper. Now Cooper the other way. Barn getting a little loud, looking for the first points of the half. Cooper screen from Payne. Cooper pull up three. Hits it. Finally, something off that screen.
And that was nothing but net. No board needed on that one.
Cuts the lead to only 12 now. Terry with the ball on the right side, gives it up top to Penn, inside to Ane. Handoff to Terry, who pulls up for the jumper on the left side near that baseline, and he hits it. It's going to be 39-25. 17 minutes here, just about to go in the second half of this game.
Excellent work by Terry there on the jumper. And we should note that he's playing with a face mask on, covering his nose, presumably because he's got some nose injury.
Yeah. As Gibson gets the steal, goes the other way, little Euro step, and lays it in with the left. And it's going to be 41-25.
Yeah, DePaul only 4 points away from that dreaded 20-point lead. Obviously, those leads don't last forever. But at the moment, very tough times for the Golden Gophers here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You mentioned it quite a lot, the struggles that Thompson has been going through on the court. And other than a bad attempt at a layup, DePaul, not a lot of struggles on their side of the court this time around. So,
they're making everything look very easy. The big men are getting rebounds easily. Gibson is having his way. You know, he gets the ball, and it's almost expected now that he's just going to blow by his defender, get into the lane, and get a tough finish. Johnson with a contested three-pointer that went in. And sometimes you wonder, well, maybe it's just their night. They're just hitting their shots. But I think in this case, it's really Minnesota not playing aggressive enough, not doing their job, and adjusting to these DePaul players who are getting quite hot here.
Yeah, and I mean, looking back, we mentioned beating Loyola of Maryland. I honestly thought it was over Illinois before actually checking. That was a 72-66 victory on the 7th of November, and they beat in-state rivals Western Illinois, the Leathernecks, 86-74. So all their games they've won by a slim or somewhat slim margin. And tonight it's looking like they're looking to change that narrative and maybe pull off a quality road win against this Gopher team and do so in style.
Yeah, and for the Gophers, a team that, they scored 61 points, I believe, in their first game and around 72 or something like that in the second game, averaging about 66 points a game. They have 25 here, almost a quarter way through the second half. And that's ridiculous, especially for a college team, but also for a team that has been scoring with such efficiency. And I think one place you can point to is Dawson Garcia, who was averaging 18 points a game, or 17, excuse me, and he's done next to nothing this game. Also on the rebounding side, Garcia was also averaging 7.5 rebounds a game, and he has 2 right now. You'd like to see him step it up, or see somebody like Payne continue to play big, and you need somebody to carry the offense. I know you're down Jamison Battle, your top scorer, who last year a lot of times had a high shot rate, but it was because he was the only one who could make the shots. He'd miss them too, but he was making them enough that he was able to keep the Gophers in the game. But when you don't have that guy, somebody's got to step up. And right now, Dawson Garcia, a very experienced player, is looking like he doesn't really care out there, and he's just going with the motions, and it's not working for him.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're having an off day, it's probably best to have it against a non-conference opponent, but still pretty pitiful when you're down almost 20 to a Big Ten or a Big East team that really has no chance of winning the Big East.
Gophers with the ball, tailing Cooper now, 41-25. DePaul with the lead. Payne now at the foul line, looking, gives it to Garcia, who pulls up for three and finally hits a shot.
Announcer's curse works for him this time around, I
yes.
guess.
He jab stepped a few times and was able to pull up with the defender on him. Now the other way, Johnson with the ball, dribbling at the foul line, spins, gives it to Terry at the top of the key. Handoff to Gibson, it almost gets stolen. Good hustle from Ramberg there. Now Johnson for three, and he's going to hit that. Good answer to Garcia's three-pointer. We finally hit one, and sure enough, they come right back and hit one on our face.
Yep, back and forth game, but the back and forth has definitely favored the Blue Demons.
Farrell Payne inside to Cooper. Cooper trying to direct people, double team now. Gives it to Payne. Payne gets stripped by Gibson. Good hands from him. Gibson pulls it back. Looks to take the three, but does not. Gives it to Terry. Terry dribbling, looking. Gives it to Johnson on the right side, and it gets tipped out by Henley. And it looked like he stepped out, but apparently not, as now Ane is inside, takes the layup, and good. Little baby hook there.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about the cursed 20-point lead and just how much that can do for a team, and they're almost there.
And another time, excuse me, a foul leading to a timeout. This will be a 30-second one, I believe. Maybe not. Yeah, not at all what you want to see coming out of the half here. 28 points with 15 minutes left to go is abysmal, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And the DePaul Blue Demons right now are doing the exact opposite. They're 4 for 4 on their last 4 shots. You know, like, you got to have an answer here.
Yeah, and I mean, Payne has yet to score, obviously, going into this timeout. He had the ball stripped from him, and Payne really was the factor that kept the Gophers in the first half. And now you got guys like Javen Johnson just going ballistic. 13 points for Johnson on the night. 5 for 10 shooting, so 50%, not the greatest, but not the worst. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 50% at the free throw line as well. This Blue Demons team, they are doing their darndest out here tonight on a Monday night. And maybe, I mean, not trying to downplay the skill of the Blue Demons, but it is quite possible that the Gophers are just having an off night, and because of the time in which it lands. The Monday night, 6 p.m. game, it was snowy all day in the Twin Cities, so maybe they're having a little bit of wintertime sadness or whatever, and they're trying to maybe get back into the game of basketball. And at the moment, their heads really aren't in the game, and they're going to have to make some quick adjustments with almost less than 15 minutes left to go.
Yeah, and what it looks like to me so far this whole game is they look like they know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get those rolls off the screens, get it inside on kind of the entry pass and cut. But it seems to me that they've been trying so hard all game to get these, and they're not getting there. But instead of switching, saying, okay, maybe we need to switch our approach, they're trying to stick to that so hard and still trying to get that bucket from that play style, and it's just not working right now. And you'd imagine Coach Johnson is saying, switch it up.
Yeah.
But, maybe not, and maybe he's saying stick with what we know, and what they know is not working.
Yeah, I mean, they say the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I mean, safe to say tonight, Gophers are insane, and not in a good way.
No, they are not. Will Ramberg inbounding for the Gophers, inside to Cooper. Cooper gives it to Garcia at the foul line. Out to Henley. Henley drives. Tough layup and hits it. Good finish there. the long finish. Well, already something a little switched. They had that entire left side of the court overloaded. There was nobody on the other side, so maybe it already looks like they're doing something different. As on the other side, Ane gets stripped by Cooper. Another steal by Cooper. Cooper gets fouled from behind as he dribbles into Ane. Good play by Cooper there, trying to fend off the defender.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before on this broadcast, but a high basketball IQ move. And that's relatively surprising given that Cooper, just a junior. So, I mean, that's something you'd see maybe a senior do, and you'd go, oh, well, that expected because he's a senior. Cooper, only a junior, so a lot of more good basketball games to come from Cooper.
Payne here with the ball. Hands off to Cooper. Cooper flings it to Carrington, who just checked in, who takes the three and no good. Carrington still scoreless in his debut here. And on the other side, Gebrewit nails another three. Gebrewit with 11 points. Braden Carrington now dribbling. Screen from Payne. Over to Garcia, over to Cooper. Cooper dribbles, screen from Garcia. Cooper drives, and it gets stripped, but there's also a foul. It was, I believe, on Terry, yeah, from behind.
Yeah, interesting to see them call that foul. I mean, I understand why they called it, and obviously I'm not going to poo-poo on the refs, but yeah, at the line for two and trying to change the narrative.
And he hits his first. It's promising there as Cruz checks in for Terry.
Yeah, Cooper 2 for 6 on the night, and he has made all of his three-pointers.
And he misses the second free throw, but an offensive rebound. Gophers come up with it, and Ola Joseph misses the aggressive layup. Good look there. Gibson now dribbling around, gives it to Johnson for three, who misses. And a hustle for the ball by Ane, and he's able to get the offensive rebound as Gibson drives against Cooper, who's playing tough D on him. Now out to Cruz. Cruz dribbling against Garcia. Cruz driving, pull up from the elbow, no good. And this time the Gophers are able to secure the rebound. Now Talon Cooper bringing it up the court, screen from Payne, nothing there. Gibson on Cooper. Cooper drives, left hand, drops his defender. Payne down low, lays it up, and I'm trying to see what the call is here.
Yeah, Gibson on that one slid like he wanted a foul, but looks like the foul is going to be on DePaul.
I believe it may be a defensive 5-second call or three. I'm not really sure what is going on here. As Cooper misses a free throw. Yeah, it was a technical. I believe that is a defensive call, but I'm. Interesting here. It was called on a nay. And the layup did not count, or the layup did not count, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ane only 4 points on the night. Interesting to see the Golden Gophers kind of, like we said, stick to the same script, not really deviating.
DePaul with the ball inside to Gebrewit. Gebrewit jabs down low, dribble, drive, nothing there. Kicks it back out to Cruz. Gibson now with the ball up top, loses it. Another steal by Talon Cooper, who gives it to Garcia. Garcia driving down, gets fouled by Cruz right on the lane. A little tussle there, a little words exchanged by Garcia and Ane.
Garcia practically ran into the post that has the basket carried, lifted up. I don't know really what the terminology behind that is, but I guess you could say he fell into the padding, and so did Ane. Obviously, words were exchanged, mostly Garcia exchanging the words, but no fisticuffs, which, as anyone that's aware of Minnesota basketball history, the Barn has definitely had a few cases of fisticuffs in its history.
Dawson Garcia now will shoot 2.
Garcia at the line tonight, obviously not having the greatest night, but he's looking to change that as he makes the free throw. Yeah, we mentioned it earlier about Garcia kind of having an off night, but he's looking to change his wrongdoings, I guess you could say, by putting up easy buckets.
As he hits a second free throw. Now a little press from Minnesota, playing defense full court. Terry now has the ball at the top of the key. The Barn is loud. Over to Geberwitt, back over to Terry, who gives the cruise, back to Terry, over to Geberwitt. Geberwitt pump fakes, dribble jabs, Terry for 3, no good. And Payne comes up with the rebound.
I don't know why Terry took that shot. That was very out, almost near the logo.
Cooper gives it to Ola Joseph on the three-point line, who gives it to Garcia now. Garcia trying to clear things out. Garcia backing down Nelson. Garcia with the left hand, no good. Tough layup there on the ISO, and he could not finish it. Geberwitt in the corner, jab, drive, layup, and it's blocked by Payne. Another big play by Payne. Taylor Cooper down the court to Carrington. Ola Joseph down low, and he misses the wide open layup. Ola Joseph, but he gets the ball back and he finishes. Strong, good hustle there from Ola Joseph. Missed the wide open layup, stuck with it on the ground, gets it, brings it up, finishes. It is now 49-37 as DePaul will take a timeout here.
Yeah.
Good little sequence there from Minnesota.
DePaul has had 0 points in the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds of play, and it shows. We had Gopher fans on their feet cheering on the Gophers after they went on a little run of their own.
7-0 run.
Yeah.
Here.
And this is definitely denting, so to speak, the sizable lead that the Blue Demons once had.
Yeah, down to 12 now. It was nearing that 20-point mark, and you know, for the team to come back right now this is a good surge. This is a good time for a surge. They came out of that timeout with around 15 minutes left, with only about 28 points, and they were able to make a push. And now it's only a 12-point game. So this is huge for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, they haven't announced the Boston Scientific heart of the game, but I think anybody with eyes and ears can kind of guess it's probably going to be Payne tonight. I mean, he has been berserk in terms of stats. He's got 12 points on the night, 1 assist, and obviously the stat that stands out to me the most, at least, 4 rebounds. And definitely a large number for a team that has, frankly, been struggling with rebounds.
Yeah, and he had a block there on that last play. Barely got a fingertip on it, but his long arms, he was able to reach that, block the ball, get the ball up the court, where Ola Joseph had a good drive, got open, wide open layup, missed it just barely, rolled out. You know, that happens sometimes. It's tough. But he was able to stick with it, didn't get frustrated, didn't get flustered, stuck with it with the scruff on the ground, and he picked the ball up, put it right back in for an even easier layup.
Yeah, Payne, obviously that wingspan does him great services when he is near the basket. Obviously the layup, but obviously what people talk about more, the dunk. Definitely a item in Payne's repertoire.
Yeah, and that little event before where there was the technical free throw. I believe the bucket did count for Payne, who had a nice play, and I believe it was a defensive violation, as there was a guy on the floor who had been in the paint, and so unfortunately they didn't get that free throw from Taylon Cooper, but the basket did count.
Yeah, defensive violations like that, you don't really see them too often in today's college basketball realm. Well, collegiately, Minnesota's doing good. On the professional level, obviously with the Timberwolves starting out okay. They got about a 500 record, but Minnesota, obviously, what happens tonight can definitely impact their winning percentage. And not a great start if you start out 2-1. I mean, like you mentioned, 9-0 start for the Gophers last year prior to really getting into the heart of Big Ten play. And, I mean, Big Ten play is going to be a sight to see this year, folks. So stay tuned to the Radio K Sports page and elsewhere.
Gibson now with the ball. The barn is rocking. DePaul with the 49-37 lead. Big screen from Nelson there. Gibson drives, fakes, couple fakes, spins, nowhere to go. Tries to get it inside at Penn, and Penn misses the layup. And there's going to be a defensive shot clock violation, and great defensive possession from the Gophers there, locking up Gibson, not letting him go anywhere. And then Payne playing tough defense on Penn. Braden Carrington now with the ball, bringing it up for the Gophers. Hand off to Cooper. Cooper looking, gives it to Garcia. Garcia inside to Ola Joseph. Ola Joseph backing down his defender, looking for the shot. Not there, but he gets it off anyway. And it's going to go off of Nelson's foot and remain Minnesota Gopher ball.
Yeah, that kickball violation was an obvious one. The refs saw it, they called it like they saw it, and Gophers rebounding.
Taylon Cooper now inbounding inside of Carrington, who pulls up for three quick and misses. Carrington still no points. Gibson now dribbling, looking, and there's a whistle, another off-ball foul, it looks like. And
looks like it was against Nelson.
Well, they're keeping the ball here, so it must have been on Payne.
Nelson reacted like it was on him.
Yeah. Not sure what that was, but Geberwitt now in the corner for three, no good, but the rebound by Penn, and he lays it up. Another second chance point for the DePaul Blue Demons, and Penn was pretty excited about that one. Taylon Cooper now clearing things out, looking for the screen from Garcia, gets it, gives it to Ola Joseph for three, and he gets fouled on the three-pointer. 3 shots coming up for Ola Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, the three-pointer that was shot by, I believe it was Geberwitt over on the DePaul side of the ball, that could arguably have been a foul in the act of shooting. Obviously, I don't think they called it because they knew there might have been a rebound chance. Here, they called it, and he is sent to the line, Ola Joseph.
Joshua Ola Joseph hits the first one. He's a freshman from Brooklyn Park, 6'7", forward. Another local guy, and he hits the second. Now, Brooklyn Park, that's a hop and a skip away.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about how close St. Thomas was. Brooklyn Park, just as close.
And he misses the third free throw, but he got the first two. It's a 12-point game still, 51-39 as we hit the halfway point in the second half. 10 minutes to go. The barn is loud. Geberwitz inside to Nelson. Nelson sizing up Payne, drives, and Payne with the steal. Another big play from Payne. Now Cooper bringing it up the court, slowing it down a bit here. Gets the screen from Garcia. Back to Garcia. Garcia for three. Got it!
Things have
51-42. Garcia with the three. Yet again.
Starting to fall the Gophers' way. Fans are on their side. All they got to do is make sure DePaul stops shooting those easy threes and easy twos.
Gibson getting pressured. Gives it to Johnson. Johnson pulling it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson drives into the lane, and it's going to be a block on Payne, I believe. Still good defense there from the Gophers. Got to make them earn it at the line.
Yeah, and I feel like in comparison to previous University of Minnesota men's basketball coaches, Ben Johnson has definitely made his team more of a defense-oriented team, and that can shock a lot of opponents that are more offensively minded.
Payne was slow to get up there. Might have taken a knee or something down low, which is never comfortable, but he's up again as Johnson takes the shot. Looking at that feared student section, making a lot of noise, and he hits the first. 52-42, 10-point game here. Gophers momentarily had it cut to single digits. Payne's going to get a quick break here as Henley comes into the game, and he gets a big ovation from this barn crowd as yet another one of his defensive efforts led to a big shot on the other side for Minnesota. Javen Johnson, second free throw is good.
Interesting to see the plan of attack here from Minnesota. Obviously, they broke that big margin of, there's some action going on in the backcourt.
For some reason, Henley picked up his dribble, which is never a good thing to do when you're in the backcourt and no one else is looking at you, nearing a violation there. Henley, good pass to Ola Joseph, who tries to finish, can't, but Garcia gets the rebound and gets fouled, and he's going to have a shot at 2 free throws here. Good pass from, I believe that was Henley, to Ola Joseph, who tried to finish on the other side, threw a lot of contact, and was unable to, but Garcia with the big rebound and also through contact got fouled and is now shooting 2.
Yeah, Henley's pass was just with one hand. We've been seeing a lot of just one-handed passes from these teams. Obviously, most notably DePaul when they had that inbound pass. Ended up, I think that led to some points.
Garcia, first free throw is good.
Deficit now down to 10 for the Gophers, 43-53, visiting DePaul with the lead.
Garcia now has 14 points on the night, looking for his 15th here, and he won't get it. Another missed free throw.
Yeah, we were worried about Garcia early on in the night, maybe not even making it to the double digits, but he's had a much better second half.
Barn loud once again on defense. Johnson gives it to Gibson. Gibson versus Carrington, beats Carrington, but Carrington with the block from behind, huge block, but they get the offensive rebound, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gebrewith lays it in with the floater.
Yeah, excellent block there by Mr. Basketball himself, but unfortunately, you got to get the ball if you realize that there is a block happening, and it felt like the Gophers didn't even realize that there was a block.
Taylon Cooper now down 12, gives it to Garcia. Garcia drives, and it's going to be a charge on Garcia, who finished. Ooh, big call there. Let's see this replay. Garcia drove with his left hand towards the baseline. That's a tough one. You know, a lot of people, a lot of casual basketball fans will say, "Oh, he wasn't set. Oh, he wasn't in front." But you know, his feet were planted. He didn't jump into the way of him. It was really Garcia went into him. I think that's a good call there. Maybe to an average fan that might not look like a big call, as DePaul messes up here and throws the ball off the fingertips of Johnson. It's going to be a Minnesota ball. Big turnover there for sure.
And I mean, that foul, that could have easily been the story of the second half had not that possession ended the way it did. But it does bring up an interesting argument of, wouldn't you say, of all the calls that a ref can make in a basketball game, the charge versus blocking foul is probably most subjective.
Oh, 100%. And it's also, it really is. It's so polarizing, obviously, and
Yep.
it's such a huge call to make because when you draw a charge, the energy in a place completely shifts. If it's a home game and your team draws a charge, the crowd erupts. Everybody loves a charge. Coaches always talk about they'll do drills in practice. If you take a charge, you're the player of the practice, whatever. But at the same time, if your team commits a charge, the crowd just they get mad and then they quiet down. It can really take the energy out of the place. But it is such a hard call to make. And a lot of times, even the best of the best refs, you look at the replay 100 times and you still can't figure out what the right call is.
Exactly.
It's really the judgment in the moment. Sometimes it might be impacted by how the game's going, what's happening, but the refs are obviously doing their best. I don't think either of these schools care too much about this game to pay them off. So I doubt they're calling in anybody's favor specifically. So it's a tough call there. Could have completely shifted the game. I'm surprised DePaul wasn't more. They weren't pushing more to get a good shot there because you make a shot there, you go up 14 or 15 after a charge call, and that completely shifts the game from what is looking like a comeback right now. So, good on Minnesota to force that little mistake, which was definitely a mental mistake there by DePaul.
And with a little under 8 minutes, a comeback is not out of the realm of possibilities. I mean, that's what is part of the allure of college basketball is comebacks happen. It seems like more times than you can throw a stick at. I don't know what the analogy I should use there, but I mean, there are a lot of comebacks in college basketball, and that's part of what makes things like March Madness so viewer-friendly. And I mean, this is very much a viewer-friendly and listener-friendly, mind you, basketball game.
Yeah, and it's the reason these comebacks happen is because it's young guys and they get comfortable up with a big lead, and they're not experienced enough to know how to keep that. And so you see games like this where DePaul might lose a lead or Minnesota might not be able to come back from one. It's all about experience. As Dawson Garcia with a tough finish, a little up and under action. 45-55, it's 10 points now. Speaking of comebacks, can the Gophers mount one here with 7.5 minutes to go in the second half? Gibson with the ball, hand off to Johnson. Johnson screen. Johnson dribbling, looking, drives, pull up from the elbow, and he hits a 2. Tough shot from a good shooter here. And there's going to be a whistle. No foul called, just a little warning from the ref to take it easy as Henley and Nelson got a little tangled up after that shot. Will Ramberg looking to inbound.
I feel like you see the petty whistle, I guess you'd call it that, more in football than you do in basketball. But there you saw it.
Henley now with the ball. Screen from Payne. Payne now back. Oh, excuse me, that's Ola Joseph, not Payne. Ramberg now dribbles, pulls it back. Gives it to Ola Joseph up top. Hand off to Cooper. Cooper looks for the 3, doesn't take it. Dribbles. Gibson playing tight defense on him here. Cooper looking for something. Pull-up jumper. 2. Tough shot from the foul line. A little turnaround Jay. Elevates over the smaller Gibson and hits that.
Yeah, and the question is, will the defense show up for this DePaul possession?
Geberwitt drives. Puts a floater and misses everything. He shoots it over that. Garcia gets the rebound. Cooper now the other way. Cooper dribbling, looking, gets a screen, doesn't use it. Cooper driving and gets fouled here. Misses the layup, but he's going to get 2 shots here at the line. Chance to cut it to single digits. Let's see if, we've been talking about it all night. But let's see if the Gophers can hit their free throws.
Yeah.
Keep this game close.
Exactly. And this is obviously the inverse of what happened against Western Michigan.
And Cooper misses off the front of the rim. That was far short. Gophers now 11 for 18 from the free throw line. Another disappointing performance from there. And he misses a second, but Ola Joseph gets the offensive rebound, and he puts it in, a tough finish, and he's getting excited here. And so is the rest of the crowd. The barn is getting loud. Will Ramberg, playing defense on Gibson. Now giving to Johnson, handoff. Guards are handing the ball off, back into Gibson's hands now. Double team. Henley now guarding Johnson. Johnson sizes up Henley, drives, trying to go somewhere, and he can't. Pulls up, ugly shot there, and he misses. Garcia comes away with the rebound. The Gophers were all over the guards there for DePaul. Taylon Cooper gets a screen from Garcia, gives it back to Garcia, who pulls up for three. No good, but Ola Joseph tips it up and almost gets the offensive rebound, but he can't. And Nelson the other way throws it down with the one-handed slam.
And the net is stuck on the hoop, and just like that, a hush falls over the barn crowd.
Still only a 10-point game here. Hope is still alive with nearing 5 minutes left in the second half. Taylon Cooper up and under, and he's going to get fouled. Let's see if he can make up for those last two missed shots.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it with shot selection, and yeah, here is the time for the Gophers to kind of rewrite the story that's been written for them thus far in terms of free throw shooting and just keep making baskets in general.
First free throw good from Cooper. It's 59-50, cuts it to single digits. 5:11 remaining in the second half. Taylon Cooper misses another 1 for 4, excuse me, as Nelson now gets a long pass down low, and he's able to make a tough finish over the smaller Ola Joseph.
Almost felt like they got a little bit ahead of themselves, and then they eventually righted their wrong.
Cooper now looking, seeing what the offensive's offering. Garcia with the pull-up two, no good. That was a contested two, but Ramberg comes up with the rebound. Henley now, left side, drives, and it's going to be another charge, this time on Henley. He's our killer. That time Henley went into two defenders, not a lot there, trying to create something. Not a good possession, as you were down 11 now, trying to get something going here, trying to mount a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, every possession matters. There is no room for error, and that was definitely an error from the Maroon and Gold.
Gebrewit with the ball, looking, gives it to Johnson. Johnson now. Henley on him. Johnson dribbles over to Gibson. Gibson drives middle into Nelson in the corner, and this time Dawson Garcia draws a charge from the driving Nelson.
And I mean, just watching it from up here, you could tell that Nelson was going straight to the basket, and Garcia knew it full well, was set in place, knew he was going to get that charging foul, and obviously they called the charge, and rightfully so.
Yeah, Garcia was playing he was basically still in the paint as Nelson had the ball in the corner, and Nelson did a pump fake for absolutely no one and then drove. So Garcia, smart play there, knowing that he was going to be driving, and smart to take the charge. Now on offense, Gophers have it. Garcia with the ball up top, drives against Nelson, and another charge call. This time Garcia on Nelson. That one I'm not so sure about. It looked like Nelson was quick stepping backwards. Yeah, that's now 4 charge. You don't see a lot of charges, and we've now witnessed 4.
Yeah, I mean, At least they're consistent with it, not calling blocking fouls, But I mean, at the moment, yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see in such quick succession all these charging fouls because, I mean, it's game time, and obviously when guys fall on the court, you got to call something.
Right.
But they obviously are preferring that charging, and, I mean, maybe it's just like a spur-of-the-moment thing, and they're really not thinking much about it. They should be thinking much about it because that's their job, but interesting to see really how, like, after the fact, it'll be interesting to see the impact that these charges have had on the game overall.
Definitely an energy shift here. Goes back and forth with each charge call, it feels. 11 points. It's 3:59 left in the second half. It's looking a little bit grim for the Gophers. They need to be perfect from here on out, it feels. And DePaul needs to be making mistakes.
And I hate to say I'm right, but I was right. Payne was awarded the Boston Scientific Heart of the Game. Obviously, Garcia had a great second half. He's got 16 points on the night. But Payne has been consistent first and second half, and he wins the Boston Scientific Heart of the Game, and deservedly so.
And to note, he has not missed a shot tonight. He's 6 for 6, 12 points. That's the efficiency you want, especially out of your big man. We haven't quite seen that out of some of the other guys who've been taking shots down low.
Yeah, something that Coach Johnson will definitely try to instill in his team prior to the Thursday 8 o'clock tip-off against Central Michigan is field goal percentage. Just making shots or shooting shots that you know you can make, making sure you're not shooting shots when you are covered, and just raising basketball IQs. That's what Johnson's job is as a coach. And right now the Gophers are sitting at 33% field goal percentage on the night. DePaul not great either, but they have over 12 percentage points more in the terms of a field goal percentage than the Gophers, with 45% on the night. They're 25 for 56 with their shots.
The lineup for Minnesota is Dawson Garcia, Farrell Payne, Jaden Henley, Will Ramberg, and Talon Cooper. So it looks like the starters out there minus Trayton Thompson, who's got Payne in there for him. Gibson now with the ball. Playing a light press here, Minnesota is. Gibson over to Nelson. Whips it over to Johnson. Johnson back to Gibson. Gibson trying to run the offense here. Handoffs between the guards now. Over to Gebrewit in the corner. Gebrewit drives middle. Oh, and he just goes all the way around. Basically being chased by Henley there, and he lays it up. 63-50.
Yeah, 13-point lead for the Blue Demons, and going to be a nice bus ride home for them if they can maintain this lead.
Oh, great play by Gebrewit, who threw the ball off of Will Ramberg, who was trying to get the offensive rebound. And it'll be DePaul ball.
Yeah.
Gebrewit stepped off the raised court here in the barn.
Yeah.
Could have been dangerous.
Yeah, easy way to get injured and an embarrassing way to get injured, frankly.
Yeah. Gibson with the ball, handoff to Johnson. They're doing this almost like a three-man weave type thing. And Gibson lays it up, can't make it. Tipped by Penn. Penn doesn't make it either. Penn, long toss, and oh my goodness. DePaul gets the ball somehow after about 3 misses.
And Penn nearly fell off the court too.
Gibson deep three, and he hits it in Talon Cooper's face. 16-point game. That one might be the finisher.
Yep, as fans head towards the exits.
Just about half the stadium stood up and started walking away. Foul called here on Penn.
I mean,
And that's Penn's 5th foul if it remains.
yeah, that would be. And that was, actually, that was foul number 4 on Penn, was a personal foul. So obviously, lots in the realm of fouls for this Gopher squad and also for the DePaul squad. DePaul with 10, Gophers with 7. Fouls, that is.
Garcia with the free throw, as it is. The Gophers are in the bonus here. So are the Blue Demons.
Yeah, and I mean, that missed free throw from Garcia, obviously that's not going to make or break the game, but you still want to make these free throws, as he makes this one, because you are still playing to win the game. I mean, it's not over because there's still 2:15 left.
Gibson now dribbling out the clock a little bit. Now the offense getting it going, doing those handoffs that the guards have been doing last few plays. And it's going to be stolen by Henley. Cooper down the court. Henley looking at the 3, doesn't take it, dribbling around Geberwitt, pull up 2, long. And the Blue Demons will go the other way as Nelson kicks it to Geberwitt. They pull it out, and they're going to run some more clock here. Gibson dribbling against Garcia.
Yeah, this Blue Demon squad going into a game that, like you said, was written off as kind of an easy victory for the Gophers.
And it turns into another offensive rebound by DePaul. Just really putting and he lays it in. That is Johnson. Really putting it on here at the end. That's a play at the end of the game that pretty much shows how the rest of the game went.
Yeah.
Offensive rebounds, easy finishes at the rim.
Yeah, and if fans haven't left already, they're leaving now. Be surprised to see even a quarter of the original fans in attendance by the end of this second half.
Taylon Cooper now with the ball. Pull up 3. No good. DePaul bringing it back the other way. Minute left now here in the second half. 68-51. DePaul with a 17-point lead.
Yeah, and DePaul haven't faced any Big East teams yet, but they're looking pretty good so far. Obviously, quality win against a Big Ten opponent today.
Gibson misses the layup. Up to Cooper. Cooper driving, gives it to Garcia, who throws it down with the 2-hand slam. That'll be his 19th point of the night.
I don't know what they call it, insult to injury when a player scores on the opposing team that's winning, but I don't really know what they call it when you score a dunk when you're down 10 and change.
Yeah. Dribbling this one out, 15 seconds on the shot clock. About a 7-second difference. Johnson, let's see if they they'll take one more shot here, and there's going to be a foul called. And they're in the bonus as well, so this will be shots here. If you thought it was over, it's not, because we have to stay in a few more extra seconds as 12 seconds remains on the clock here in the second half. Johnson taking the free throws, looking to get his 20th point of the game. And he hits it, and he'll have another one here.
Yeah, at the moment, Big East-wise, the only team with a loss, Villanova. They are 2-1 on the season.
Yeah.
Inside basketball, I guess you could call it that.
Rebound, missed free throw, a steal by Penn.
And that's insult to injury right there.
And it gets tipped out by Henley. Penn still showing emotion. He's been showing emotion all game. And he's bumping people around. It's been a little tussling a little bit here. And they're talking still.
Yeah, I mean, very unsportsmanlike. I mean, fights, Big Ten games, that comes with the territory sometimes. But this is a non-conference game. You gotta treat your opponent with some dignity.
Especially when there is literally 1 second on the clock, and the remaining fans are waiting it out. As the horn blows, your Minnesota Golden Gophers fall to the DePaul Blue Demons, 69-53. Not a pretty game by any means. You know, Minnesota has now had 2 tough non-conference games to start the season. Games that they should have easily taken care of. I know they're not the best in the Big Ten, but that does not mean by any means you shouldn't be beating these smaller conference teams by huge margins. I'm not sure what's missing. Maybe it's Jamison Battle. Maybe they need him on the court as a leader. This is a relatively young team, but your top player this game was Farrell Payne, who dropped 12 points and 4 rebounds with a few blocks. You know, if your freshman is the best guy on the court and showing the most heart, that's not a good sign. You need older guys to step up. You need people like Dawson Garcia, who's very experienced, literally was on a national championship team, played at Marquette, like these big schools. You know, somebody like him needs to step up. And yeah, he had 19 points, 6 rebounds, but it's important to note most of those points came in the second half.
Yep.
Some of them in garbage time. Some of them, 19 points is not what we need. Or 19 points in that way was not what the Gophers needed, I should say. And on the other side with DePaul, you had a guy, Javen Johnson, one of your starters, 20 points, 8 rebounds. Great game, was not missing shots. Gibson was absolutely dicing up the entire defense for Minnesota, laying it up, getting in the lane easy, making things happen. Gebrowit hitting 3 after 3, 15 rebounds, or 15 points for him, 5 rebounds. Penn, big man, 10 points, 14 rebounds for Penn. Rebounds were the biggest thing, I think, in this game, 100%. The amount of offensive rebounds it's 20, almost half of their rebounds were offensive rebounds. It was 28 defensive rebounds, 20 offensive rebounds for DePaul. Those numbers are not pretty whatsoever. So, going into your next few games, you got a few more non-conference games. Got to step it up for sure. I'm sure practice is going to be tough this week. Game at the end of the week. Got to hope that something changes up.
Oh, for certain. And I mean, you mentioned Jamison Battle. And yes, Jamison Battle is one heck of a basketball player, that's for certain. But he's not going to be your saving grace when all is said and done. You still need to have a solid team to build your program around. I mean, we were making NBA, NCAA comparisons throughout the night, but NCAA basketball is not a superstar sport. Obviously, you do have your college superstars that end up being one-and-dones, and going on to the NBA, bigger things, so to speak. But you need to have a well-built team. I mean, look at the teams that were in the championship last year. Kansas, North Carolina. And at the moment, you would be lying to yourself if you said Minnesota is a well-built team. And they really need to work on, obviously, there were outliers, Payne being one of the biggest outliers. Incredible night for Payne with the 12 points, and especially on the defensive side of the ball. Let's not kid ourselves. A defensive powerhouse, and unfortunately that sole performance was not enough for the Gophers when it came crunch time, and the Blue Demons just ran away with it.
Yeah, Gophers need to look to improve their shot selection for the next game and improve their defense for the next game, especially with that defensive rebounding. Next game is Thursday, November 17th. Minnesota will play Central Michigan at 8 p.m. Here at the barn, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
And Radio K Sports maybe
should have the call.
Yep. Should have the call for that one. So thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Elias Thomas here with Matthew Zeikert, and we'll see you next time.